Hopefully, we get to post this video and it'll make it online and I come out alive. Fingers crossed.
Tonight we're sleeping 1,375 feet underground in an abandoned Victorian slate mine. This is the world's deepest overnight accommodation. The mine was nicknamed the slaughterhouse in Victorian times due to the amount of death and injuries that miners faced whilst working there. To reach your accommodation, there's no lifts or escalators. You wade through water, you abseil down rock faces, and you zipline through the dark. So grab your harness and your hard hat and let me show you what it's like to sleep deep underground.
Starting our walk at Cwmorthin station. And it's about a 45-minute walk up to a hut where we're going to get our wellies and a bit more kit like our harnesses and stuff. But it's a beautiful day here in Snowdonia.
The climb and hike up from the train station to the kit room actually took us about 30 minutes. The path that we followed wound its way through mountains of slate which surrounded us. These piles were huge and it is likely that they could have been made by hand. The views behind us were stunning as we made our climb, and on the way up we passed a waterfall with a natural pool that you could swim in.
Slate was formed between 3 and 350 million years ago. So 300 million years ago, planet Earth was all tropical rainforest, and all the mud and the silt from the rainforest got washed down into big lakes. So you ended up with big lakes of mud. And then when the volcanoes erupted, the volcanic material landed on top of that mud, and it did two things. It squashed it down flat and dried it out. And that's what the slate is. It's that sediment from 300 million years ago. Yeah. It has a grain, because it's a sedimentary rock, all right, it's laid down flat. It breaks really easy on its horizontal axis, but it's quite strong on its vertical axis. And it has a grain in it, right, just like a piece of wood. And if you get a piece of slate which has got a nice straight grain in it, with a hammer and chisel, you can split it into very thin sheets, and those big sheets you can then trim down and make into nice rectangular roof tiles. And that's what this is all about, basically. Yeah, it's about getting slate out of the mountain to make roof tiles.
We've just walked for just under a mile. It's taken us about 20 minutes to get up here. Bit of a climb up through the old slate and the leftovers from the good slate. So something like 90% of a slate that's mined is wastage, and only 10% of that slate can actually be used for roof tiles, which is quite interesting. And we've just made it now to the bunkhouse where we're going to get kitted up. We're going to get our helmet, our wellies and our harness to this white building on the right. But as you can see, the view around here, around the little white hut, is stunning.
What shoe size are you?
14.
Wow. Just come out of the kit room, got my helmet on, got my harness, 3 different ropes, 2 carabiners and pulley for the zip slide, and my wellies as well. Let's go. So the entrance to the mine is just around the corner. You can still see the bunkhouse where we got our kit from behind me. Hopefully we get to post this video and it'll make it online and I come out alive. Fingers crossed. Good job, got my wellies. And we're in through the gate. We're into the mine now. The water as we came in was just over kind of like the bottom half of our wellies. So trudging through water, it's dried out a little bit now.
1810, yeah, and it worked right through until the early 1960s. Along come the 1800s and the Industrial Revolution, and there was a big demand for roofing material for all the factories that were being built and all the houses that were being built for the workers. Up until that point there was no industry in North Wales, only farming and agriculture. There's buildings all over the world which have got Welsh slate on their roofs, and you'll quite often hear the term that North Wales roof the rest of the world, and that's the reason why. Just before the First World War, there were 36 mines and quarries here in North Wales, producing roofing slate, employing over 20,000 men. It was a very, very big industry, and the slate was going not just round here, but all around the world. Now there's just 3 quarries in North Wales producing slate, employing less than 200 men. So it's a very much smaller industry now. And most of the slate that's produced up here now is crushed down into chippings, which is what you see on paths and drives, etc. Right, virtually none of it ends up on roofs anymore. Yeah. Everything below H, all right, is underwater. Yeah, so the bottom 2/3 of the mine are now underwater. We will be going down to floor G, which is where the deep sleep chamber is, all right, which is going to be 1,375 feet below the surface. Yeah. So we're going to go down through the Cwmorthin back vein workings, yeah, because 2 veins of slate in here, the back vein and the old vein. You don't need to know the old vein because we're not going to go in that. All right, but we're going to go down through Cwmorthin and then we're going to cut through into the Oakley workings, all right, because we need to get through to there to get down below the Cwmorthin workings. All right, so the deep sleep chamber is actually in the Oakley mine, all right, but it's within the Cwmorthin boundary. Yeah. We're going to go down the Stairway to Heaven. Stairway to Heaven was created by the quarrymen so they could get out at the end of the day, and that's what they called it, the Stairway to Heaven, because after a long day working down here, it was heaven to get out. So it goes down 2 floors, it's 120 steps, it's quite steep, so take it nice and steady and hold the chains on the side. And that allowed them to get to from floor to floor without using the incline. The reason they didn't want to use the incline because there was trucks being pulled up it with big heavy lumps of slate on, and sometimes those big lumps of slate would come off the trucks and go sliding down the incline.
Sure.
And they didn't want to be there when that happened. Yep, so they created these manways. So we're going to use a manway here. All right, we're on floor B now, by the way. We're making our way down to floor C. So we're going to go down the manway, and then it opens up into another set of steps in the cavern below. Yeah, and then step back onto the beam and make your way along the beam. Yeah, so first person, would you like to follow me, please? We're on C floor now. We're going to use the incline to get down to D floor. All right, we're going to go down the left-hand side, holding onto the pipe. Then, where it goes a bit narrower, you might need to walk in the middle of the incline. You can probably still hold onto the pipe, but then it widens out again, and you need to cross over to the right-hand side. Down into your harness.
Before you get arrested.
Okay, and the next. Okay, so put your cow's towels into here.
You too.
This carabiner stays on the yellow rope.
Got it.
Okay. Just sit down into your harness and let yourself spin. Keep yourself away from the side.
Yeah, all yours.
Do you have your GoPro on?
Yeah, it's on, but it's not very sexy looking at a wall, is it? Like, I wasn't brave enough to do it one-handed. Nice tight tights as well, right?
Lovely tights.
Well, I'm from Nottingham, so I'm used to men in green tights, right? So.
We continued to venture deep into the mine. Here we balanced on a single beam and we hung off the rock face by a chain. At one point we had to go into quite a deep squat and I managed to get my bag caught. You can see here how low it was and my bag just wouldn't move. The instructor thankfully helped me get out.
Alright, to get the slate out, folks, they would have to drill a hole, alright, to put a charge in to blast the slate out. Yeah? And to drill the hole, they would use these, which are called jumpers. Yeah, hand drills. Basically, alright, you just keep putting it in, okay, just dropping it into the hole, okay, and alright, eventually you go up to here, and then when you've done that, you keep going, turn it over, and you go all the way up to here. Is they put a charge in there of gunpowder. Yeah, gunpowder was used because it was a soft explosive. Yeah, it didn't shatter the rock into pieces. It just fractured it enough, right, so that the big blocks just came away. Yeah. So what they would do is they'd make the hole, put a bit of gunpowder in the bottom of the hole, stick their fuse wire in the hole, and then at the end of the working day at 5 o'clock, when the siren sounded, they would then wrap their fuse wire around the bottom of the candle, yeah, and they would then light the candle, okay, and make their way out. Yeah, and the candle burning through would take about an hour, which gave them enough time to get out of the mine before the charges went off. And then the next morning, they come in, they get the big blocks of slate, they haul and drag them up to the passage at the end there. Can you see in the ceiling there, you'll see there is an iron ring. Can you see it, rusted iron ring?
Yeah.
So they put a block and tackle on that, all right, and then haul and drag the big lumps of slate to the end there, where they would then lift them up, put a cart up like this underneath them, yeah, lower the big block of slate onto the cart, chain it on, and then push it along to the bottom of the incline, where it would be then hauled up the incline, all right, and out of the mine. And when they work down here, they work by candlelight. So if you like to turn your head torches off, folks. I'm scared of the dark. In my life, that's not going to work now. Okay, so, okay.
Wow.
So this is the sort of light they would work by, yeah? So in the early days, before the First World War, they had like a bowler hat with a wide brim on it, yeah? And they would then make a candle holder out of clay on the front of their hat, all right? And they'd have a candle there, that would be their main working light. And then later on, after the First World War, they started wearing tin helmets, again with little brackets on the front, right, so that they could put their candles on, yeah? And they work by candlelight, all right up to the end of the working life of the mine, in this particular mine, all right? In Oakley next door, because it closed a little bit later in the 1980s, all right, there was a lot of modernisation in there, yeah, and they introduced electricity in the late 1930s. But even then, the quarrymen would still carry candles around, because if the electric went out, all right, they would still need to have their candles. If you was working by electric and the electric went out, that's what you'd be left with. At night, all right, we say it's pitch black, but it's not really, because you've always got a little bit of light from the moon and the stars shining through the clouds. Yeah?
Okay.
But down here, you've got no light source whatsoever. So if you put your hand right in front of your face, all right, can you see it? Stone down, you see. But they wouldn't have a harness like we've got. They just would have walked along the planks, holding onto the train.
Okay.
And you can see where the pins sticking out, and you can see where some of the old rotting planks are hanging on as well.
Oh, pleased I'm not flipping in and going across that, to be frank.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd go across that.
I thought he was about to say we are. Because I saw that handrail, right?
After 3 hours of exploring deep under the Welsh mountains, we saw the door to the deep sleep chamber and our beds for the night.
Hold on, sorry.
Journey's end.
Here we are. Watch the step.
Right, over Stella.
So this is their deep sleep chamber, yeah, and this is Janine, our host.
Hi, Janine.
Hi, Jane.
And in here you can take your helmets off. You don't need to wear helmets in here, right? Because we've secured this chamber and we know it's safe. We're just going to have a drink, biscuits, hot chocolate and biscuits, and then we'll go through a few do's and don'ts down here, etc. Make it easier to live in. And then after that, if you want to, you don't have to, all right, I'll go out and we'll do a little zip line, short zip line, yeah, which should probably take us about 20 minutes or so.
We want to do that.
Yeah.
We definitely want to do that.
So if you want to do the zip line, keep your harness on. If you're not too fussed about doing the zip line, then you can take it off and put it with your harness, your helmet underneath the bench here.
You need the helmet for the zip line.
You need your helmet and your harness for the zip line.
This is the deep sleep chamber. It consists of huts with twin beds and a grotto which has a double bed and an eating area too. Our first task was to pick a dehydrated fire pot meal. As you can see here, there was a great selection and we grabbed one and wrote our name on with a marker pen.
No cream and marshmallows.
In this bag, you've got two bags, a big one and a small one. Please don't try and go on a small one. You might struggle a little bit, okay? Use the big one. It has got chemicals in there. Do whatever you need to do, and then it will compost it. Once you're finished with it, tie a knot into it, and then put it in a small bag, seal it up, and then you can do whatever you like with it. You can keep it, you can give it to somebody, you can keep your hands warm on it. Oh. It's entirely up to you.
Put it under the heated blanket.
Under the heated blanket, yeah. Or if you don't want to do any of that, then there is a handy crap flap that you can put it through. Okay? It's a cat flap, really, but you know, just thought it was funny too. Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Cool. Yeah, and then I will take it out for you tomorrow. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Gents, rather than having to queue for the toilet, next to that shed where you can see the metal corrugated sheet door, there is a urinal in there as well, so you don't have to queue for the toilet. Okay?
Cool.
Amazing! Lactose-free one, vegan one, gluten-free, meaty ones. So if you want to go and pick one, I'll leave a Sharpie down here for you, and then just pop your name somewhere down here. Not up there because I'll kind of rip that off, yeah. And then I will prepare them for you. They will take about 25 minutes to get ready, and then I'll serve them with some side salad and some crusty bread. And if you eat it all, I might serve you some lemon drizzle cake with some custard.
Ooh.
Pork noodles.
That one's not mine.
Has it got anything else with it? Like, right arm. Can you go for that?
Breakfast. I know you've only just arrived, but before you all head off and forget.
No, don't be ashamed of being dyslexic.
Danny and I stayed in number 4. Oh, this is cosy, Danny. 2 single beds. Nice duvet. Some cushions. Nightlight.
And if you didn't think our room was fancy enough, there's a separate room known as the Grotto. It's £100 extra per person per night, and it is carved into the rock of the mine.
Controllers for each side on the electric blanket. Okay, good.
Can I have a quick nosy as well? Sorry. I feel like I'm jumping in your room. You go in first.
Get inside with the wellies on.
Your wellies. Nice. How long ago did you book this?
In September.
Oh wow, like last year?
Yeah.
Like 9-10 months ago. Wow. Nice bed. You got a private sink as well.
I mean, I guess I could have booked it out.
In the mine, there's 2 different toilet options. So in here, we've got the number 1 and number 2 loo. So this one here is if you want to go for a wee, and if you want to go for a poo, you use this one. You grab yourself a bag, you line your bag somehow over this grey plastic potty, do your business, seal it, tie it up, and then put it through the crap flap. I don't quite know what's on the other side there, and then the team will carry it out tomorrow. And then next door, a male exclusive, we have a urinal. So there, a running Armitage and Shanks urinal with a light as well. We're now off to the zipline. Like, if you mention the word zipline to me, I don't need asking for a second time. So they have their own zipline in the cave. Currently scrambling up here. I should probably stop recording so I don't end up going down on my front. There's Danny in here.
See that cable that runs down diagonally?
Is that where it finishes?
Lift your feet up to clear that.
Okay, and then when I get to the end, what do I do? Just
I'll tell you when you get there, don't
Okay.
worry. Okay,
Just
okay, you
into
ready?
it, yeah.
Okay, off you go.
Woo!
Right, stand up.
Yeah.
Grab the cable, stand up. Right, take your trolley off first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then transfer your cow towels into the rope that's in front of you. Right, down there.
Bit lower, yeah, got it. Yeah.
And then you're going to come this way and go back down the winding step.
Alright.
Lift your feet up. Put them down on the other side. Okay, lift your feet up and put them down the other side. First thing is all these jars These are old preserve jars, so things like marmalade, jam and honey used to come in nice jars like this, yeah, and when they finish their preserves, they bring them down here and use them as mugs to drink their cups of tea out of.
Yeah. Okay.
Quite often they had a wooden lid on them as well, which was really handy because it kept the slate dust out of their tea. Yeah. We've got bottles here which would have been used for bringing the milk and water down to make their cups of tea. We've got an old tin here, don't know what was in it, something with onions, something, don't know.
That's good.
And an old belt buckle from a quarryman's belt there as well. These are tongs and grease, and what you do is you get a rag on your tongs and get it in the grease, and you grease the wheels of the carts. Yeah, that's what this is for. If you remember, I said they blasted the slate out using gunpowder. Yeah. They blasted the passages out using gelignite. Gelignite, all right, this is what they stored the gelignite in. Gelignite is very volatile. You have to keep it at a constant temperature. Right, this is a flask. You've got an outer and an inner wall there. Right, and you fill it with water, put your gelignite in there, put the lid on, and it'll keep it at a constant temperature. Little metal boxes, and these little metal boxes would have had the detonators in for the gelignite. Yeah. We've also got some old teapots and kettles, some old shovels and spades, yeah, there's oil tins as well. There's an old pop can pre-1970, right, when the whole ring pulled off, yeah. Everybody remember them?
I remember that.
No.
Yeah, so this is a caban, and the caban is where the quarrymen would come to have their tea breaks and their lunch breaks, etc. Yeah, there would be a table all the way up one side, across the top and down the other side, and benches either side of the table. So you probably have the best part of 20 or 30 men in here having their tea break and their lunch breaks, etc. Yeah. And you can see by the plaster on the wall they had a corrugated tin roof. Bit ironic considering those making roof tiles out of slate. But there we go. Also you can see on the walls, if you ignore some of the more modern graffiti from the 80s and 90s, there's some new sheets that have been put up on the wall, and these were put up by the quarrymen as talking points. Yeah, they worked long hours down here. They came in the mine at 6 in the morning, they were out of the mine at 6 in the evening. They didn't have time to go to the pub and talk about stuff. Their talking was done down here. Yeah, and so they would put new sheets on the wall or talking points. Yeah, so you've got a map of Europe up there, something to do with the Second World War. We know this new sheet here is about the sinking of the Bismarck, which was the German warship during the Second World War. Just here by the door, all right, it's starting to fade now, but there used to be a new sheet about the scuppering of the Graf Spee, which again was another German warship. Also, you can see the triangular stickers from cream cheeses as well. Oh, yeah. These are from Cambrian Dairy. Yeah. I don't know what the ones with the red on are. All right, but you can see some old Nestle's ones on the back wall there, the green and white ones. Oh, yeah. Nestle's Dairy Lee. Yeah, before it became Nestle's.
That's cool.
And there's some different ones at the back there as well. So it gives us a clue of what they were eating. Yeah, so they're having a bit of bread and cheese with their cup of tea. Yeah, for their lunch. Yeah, and they would have had a stove like this, and they would have filled it up with water with a kettle. All right, put some tea in it. All right, and then mid-morning they'd all come in, have a cup of tea. And when they finish their cup of tea, they top it up with water and more tea. All right, have another one at lunchtime, top it up with water and tea again. All right, and then by the mid-afternoon, it was well stewed.
I was going to say strong as.
As strong as you could stain your teaspoon up in it. Yeah, but they loved their tea. Yeah, everything. They had tea with everything.
Yeah. You have toilets down here?
Sorry?
You have toilets down here?
They had a bucket.
Really?
They had a bucket, all right, and they had a bit of wood with a hole in it that they put on the top of the bucket.
Nasty.
And how it worked is that back in Victorian times, when this was a working mine, there was no formal education system. So children didn't go to school. The only ones who went to school were the ones from the very, very rich landowners. Yeah. So the quarrymen couldn't afford to send their children to school. So as a lad, as an 8-year-old, you would have been expected to work in the mine. And the 8-year-olds were called rubblers, and they kept the candles alight, they kept the area tidy, and one of their jobs was to carry the bucket out at the end of the day. Yeah. And then, so you'd be a rubbler at the age of 8, and then by the age of 10, all right, you then become a labourer, and it's the 10 to 12-year-olds in gangs who would push the carts along with anything up to quarter of a tonne of slate on them. Yeah, and while you was a rubbler and while you was a labourer, you would watch your elder brothers, fathers and uncles working as quarrymen, and that's how you learn the skills to be a quarryman. The most dangerous jobs were also given to the rubblers. So sometimes I had to send someone up on a ladder, all right, to put a peg in or something like that, all right, so the men would hold a ladder and send one of the boys up, yeah. And the gunpowder, again, that they was using, that would have been taken around from chamber to chamber by some of the rubblers, yeah. Because the rubblers, because they were younger, they were a little bit more agile, but more importantly, they didn't have the same skills as the older members of the family, so if they got hurt, it didn't have such a big effect on the family. Yeah, very different to the way we think these days. Yeah, you've also got to think back in Victorian times as well. People were only interested in earning enough money to put food on the table for their family. It was a much simpler life. People didn't have phones, televisions, go on holiday. There were no cars and that sort of thing. So all they were interested in was earning enough money to put food on the table for their family, and it was as simple as that. Yeah, and because people used to get ill and injured quite regularly, it was important to have a big family, so you always had a little bit of money coming in. Yeah, so they quite often had 10 or 12 kids as well. So if you had a lot of kids, chances are you'd have a good proportion of men and boys in the family, so you'd always have a little bit of money coming in. Yeah, really important, because the cottages that they lived in would have been rented from the same people who owned the mine. Yeah, and their rent was deducted out of their wage at the end of the week. So if they didn't earn enough money to at least pay their rent, the family would get evicted and they'd lose both their job and their house. Yeah, so it's always important to have the money coming in to pay the rent.
Again.
You put it on. It's like pudding.
In the deep sleep cabin, they have 3 different toilet options. They have the main toilet in here, which has a flushing toilet and some kind of potty that you have to put these bags on. And then outside, they have a urinal with flowing water. So you get your large bag and you stretch it over the plastic toilet, put the lid down, and then do what you need to do. On the wall, they have a handy poster, which shows you exactly what you need to do. And then once you've finished, you wrap it up and you put it through the crap flap, which is the cat flap on the wall. Good morning, it's just gone 7 AM. We've been told that breakfast at 8, so I got up a little bit earlier just because there's one toilet and yeah, you don't want to be forming an orderly queue and be at the back. So breakfast at 8 o'clock, and then we're aiming to leave here at 8:30. So have a mill around, it's still very quiet, that's why I'm half whispering, so I don't wake either campus because we're only in little sheds. But I got a good night's sleep. About 7.5 hours, and of actual deep sleep I got 42 minutes, so 42 minutes of deep sleep in North Wales. So what was in my bag for deep sleep? I bought this 25 litre Cwmorthin rucksack. It was actually a little bit too big in the end. At one point I got stuck. I was balancing on a bit of scaffolding which was underwater, holding onto the wall, and this bulk at the top got stuck under the rocks, so I had to get our instructor Andy to come and help me and free my bag a little bit so I could get out of my awkward position and continue along this scaffolding pole. So in my bag, in the top, I've got a few camera bits. I've got some tripod legs which I haven't even used. I've got a spare microphone, a battery pack for my phone, a monkey tail mount if I want to hang my camera onto anywhere. But it's quite a fast moving tour, so you don't really have time, and there's 10 of you on it, so you don't really want to hold other people up. So into the main body of my bag I've got my smaller Lumix GX80 because my Lumix S5 is a little bit bulky, so this is quite small and quite handy to have. I've got a power bank that I used last night. There is USB charging available in the cabin. I'll show you how that works, and there's 2 original USB ports. Kind of a toilet / tech bag. Set of wet wipes for a wash. A toothbrush. Some deodorant. And I did bring a 3-point plug with USB extensions on the side because I wasn't so sure what the charging setup was. I've
got a jumper slash fleece for the day. I've got my Carlisle United fruit salad shirt, just because it's so jazzy and funky, just for a photo. But I'll wear that today. Spare pair of walking trousers because yesterday's are very mucky, especially on the bum where I was sliding down. Another t-shirt, my Insta360 X5 that I haven't used because there's no way I'm getting a selfie stick extension kind of shot in some of the spaces, because A, there's not room, and when there's 10 of you in a group, you don't want to hold a group up too much. Pants and socks. A woolly hat, because I wasn't too sure how hot it was going to be or how cold it was going to be down here. So yeah, it's actually really toasty, because we've got a thermostat in the room which kept us warm overnight, and then when we go outside it is pretty chilly. It's about 10 degrees in the mine, but in here we're at 30 degrees, so we are toasty. And a spare cap, so that's what I bought in my bag. Got some water on the side to go below in Snowdonia. And one cheeky bonus that I did bring that we haven't used, I don't think we're going to, if I can open my bag, is we bought cheeseburgers with us for a video, but it still smells cheeseburgery, but I don't know if I'd eat it 23 hours later. I've got a clean pair of trousers for day 2 because here's the aftermath of yesterday's, from sliding down the quarry through the mine. Nice and slaty, so they're going straight in a wash when I get home. So for breakfast here we've got croissants, under heaters to warm them up. We've got some pan au chocolat as well.
I'll have a banana instead, actually.
It's 8:30, we're just about to leave now. We've all got our helmets, harnesses and wellies on, and supposedly, rather than taking 3 hours to get down here, the climb up is only going to take an hour, and we're going to follow an incline all the way up to the top. I asked the staff how long it takes them to get down here, and they can do it in about 16-17 minutes. So there's definitely a cheeky shortcut that people take to get down here. But when we leave, there'll be a team of 2 coming back down to do a changeover. So they'll come down, make the beds, clean the toilets, and it'll be ready for next weekend. Hi ho!
Trying to do that without.
At least it's sunny. See daylight. Panting like an unfit dad, but I've made it. Oh fuck. Did you get that on camera? No. There. You alright? Yeah, got the fuck. Yeah, good. Oh, cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Get the camera going, mate. Sun is shining, beautiful blue skies. Dan's falling over the slate. What an adventure. Woo. Just been climbing solid, or pretty much solidly, for about 50 minutes to an hour. Get my bag stuck in various places, but so it cost us £200 each for the cabin, so £400 in total, but I'd highly recommend it for the experience. Just look at that view. Someone's wild camping. I see an orange tent in that ruin over there, but beautiful place to come out of. Beautiful sight of the kit house next to this lake. Let's get this harness, helmet and wellies off.
Alright, thank you very much.
How was your climb up?
Yeah, it was alright.
How long was it? About 10 minutes?
About 17 minutes.
That's
yeah.
good.
That's not too bad.
I watched a video by a guy called Walk With Me Tim, who's big here on YouTube, and he recommended walking down these little channels rather than trying to scramble up these slaty bits. So cheers Tim, taking your advice and walking down here. Just touched down back at the car. What an adventure. I'd highly recommend a visit to Deep Sleep by Go Below. Yeah, it cost us about £400 for the two of us to do it, so £200 each. And then the Grotto, which is a little bit more of a fancy, secluded, cut into the rock place to sleep, costs I think £600 if I'm wrong. I'll put it around here somewhere. But no, great group. There was 10 of us in total, 4 lads from the south coast, 2 lots of couples, and then Danny and I. Great camaraderie between the group. A big shout out to the lads from the south coast for pushing me on the last bit of the climb, because I was sweating and panting like an overweight dad. So you might get some ASMR sweaty vibes on my video. But no, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you've got any questions or comments, please be nice, drop them just below here, and I'll see you on the next video. Just a cheeky bonus bit, when I was 12 or 13 at high school, we came to a place called Aberglasslyn Hall, which was an outdoor adventure centre, and I'm pretty sure that we scrambled, let me try and work out where my finger is on the screen, up one of these here. You can see there's quite a steep incline to a hole in a tunnel at the top, but I just remembered looking up when I was that age with my film camera, so I wouldn't have had too many photos, but I'm pretty sure that we scrambled up one of these inclines just there to a hole. I don't know what was in the hole, but I just remember looking mortified and then looking back at the achievement of the climb. But yeah, this area brings back some good memories. Don't know where this guy's going. Off into the bushes.